Hey everybody, welcome to the CNC with Dave show. Tonight we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. So we're going to jump right in. I want to go get the introductions out of the way, and then we'll get started with our topic for the night here in just a little bit. Peter, how about you start us off with introductions?
Oh, good evening, everyone. Thanks for having us, Dave. My name's Peter Pasqualo. You'll find me on Facebook, Twitter, and, of course, YouTube under the name of CNC Nuts. That's about it, really.
Thanks for being here tonight, Peter. Next, we have Mr. Mertzke.
Good morning. Mike Mertzke here, Mertzke Custom Woodworking. You can find me on my Facebook page and also on YouTube under my name.
Okay, and did you want to tell us about your apparel shop?
Oh, yeah. Mertzke Custom Woodworking just recently launched its 2017 line of clothing. It's over at my website, mertzkecustomwoodworking.com. And don't ask me what the URL is, but it's under the store and then swag store.
Okay, sweet.
Got a few different CNC shirts also, other than some woodworking ones.
Okay, cool. So there you go, folks. You heard it here first, or maybe second. I don't know. Okay, Mr. Chipser.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Mike Chipser. You can find me on Facebook under Wood Chips. There's a YouTube channel out there somewhere. It's only got a video on it, so thanks for having me, Dave.
Thanks for being here tonight, Michael. And I'm sure you'll be getting some video of that monster behind you up on your channel here soon, I hope.
Definitely.
Okay. Mr. Lindsay.
Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is Mark Lindsay. You can find me here on YouTube in the comment section as well. And I'm most active over on Facebook in guitar, woodworking, and CNC groups to count. And thank you for having me, Dave.
Thanks for being here, Mark. And I must say you look rather dashing tonight in your shirt.
Well, I think all the cool kids have one of these, don't they?
Yeah, most of the cool kids anyway. Yeah. Okay. Mr. Juan.
Hi, guys. I'm Juan Lopez. I'm from Dallas, Texas. You can find me here on YouTube under Decode One Design, also on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks for having me, Dave.
All right, Juan. Thanks for being here, buddy. Next, Mr. Jerry Blakesley from Jerry's Machines.
Thanks for having me on, Dave. You just said it. I'm Jerry with Jerry's Machines. You can find me just about on any social media and on YouTube.
All right. Thanks for being here. And Jerry's going to have a little announcement for us here in a little bit, too. And now we've got, and this is Jerry's first time on the show panel, by the way. And we also have another newcomer, Javier. You want to introduce yourself and let people know where they can find you?
Thanks, Dave. My name's Javier Unzueta, and I'm. You can find me at Javi's Wood Shop, YouTube, and Facebook. Brand new newbie YouTuber, longtime CNCer. I'm 4 days old on the tube.
Okay. Well, thanks for being here tonight, Javi.
Thank you for having me, Dave.
And I see somebody left the back door open, and Mr. Manring snuck in here. So, Zach, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Zach Mannering from Southern Ginger Workshop. You can find me under southernginger.com as well as YouTube and Instagram under Southern Ginger Workshop. Thanks for having me, Dave.
All righty, Zach. Thanks for joining us here tonight. And we may have another couple of folks here sneak in. Sent some more links out. Maybe they'll show up here in a little bit. Got a lot to talk about tonight. I made myself a little list here. First of all, I want to go over the question of the week we did last week. I had a lot of people get the correct answer, but it took most people a little while to get it. But if y'all remember, the question of the week was, I did 2 videos, and I can't even remember when it was now, September 2015. And in the videos, there's a sign behind me, and what I was looking for was the last 3 words in the sign. Well, here is the sign right here. And as you can see, it says, if you love someone, set them free. If you hate someone, set them free. Basically, set everyone free and get a dog. People are stupid. So people are stupid is what I was looking for. And congratulations to Andy Blackman. He was the first one to get the correct answer. And I've got a router bit on the way to him. So we'll be doing another one of those at the end of the show. Secondly, I want to give a big shout out to, well, all of my customers, both the Gatton CNC customers and the GarageWorks CNC customers. But tonight, especially the GarageWorks CNC customers, and one guy in particular, I want to give a shout out to Thomas Hoffman. I don't know if he's watching tonight. I hope he is. He's in Cincinnati, Ohio. And the reason I want to give a shout out to Thomas Hoffman is that guy has got the patience of Job. He ordered a 4x4 from me December 30th. And he just missed getting the last one I had. So he had to, so I had to put in another order for parts. And he has been just fantastic. I haven't got any emails saying, hey, when am I getting my parts or stuff, which is what you usually get if it's something that takes this long. But my fabricator had issues with their laser, and everything kept getting shoved back, and I finally got the parts in last Friday. Picked them up from the powder coaters this Wednesday. So Thomas, if you're watching, your stuff is all credit out, and it's going to be going out Monday morning. So appreciate your patience, and appreciate all my customers. So thank you guys. Another thing I want to talk about real quick is, and I've showed this on Facebook, I've got a few, I had some requests to have a few of these made, extra Z-axis plates, mainly for those people who are drilling tap challenged, I guess. But I got about 10 of these extra. I've already drilled and tapped, put that little mod on there. And in fact, all the machines I ship now, I just go ahead and do that because I guess the tapping thing was a problem for some folks. But anyway, so those are available on the GarageWorks CNC website if anybody wants one. Let's see, what else have I got here?
Hey, the question is that steel?
This is quarter plate steel, yes.
Okay.
Yes. And apparently that's why folks have trouble tapping it, especially if have not tapped a lot of holes.
Okay, so I snapped off a couple taps. I'm sorry.
I wasn't going to mention your name, Mike.
You're using those wood taps, aren't you? That's the problem.
Hey, you're not the only one, because when I first talked about it, there were several people go, yeah, I'll take one too when you get them. So we'll wait and see now that people know I got them, how fast they go. I got about 10 of them. I think I started to order like 4 or 5, and then I kept getting so many people saying, I'll take one when you get them. So I'm like, I better get more than that. So I think I got 10 of them. So by the way, just to rub it in, I tapped 11 plates last night, and I'm still using the same tap.
I live close enough to Mike, he could have brought it over here.
Okay, let's talk about the woodworking show for a minute. If I counted correctly, I think the woodworking show is like 33 days away. It's going to be at the Cobb Galleria in Atlanta, Friday, March 31st, and then Saturday and Sunday, April 1st and 2nd. Whole bunch of folks are going to be there. Several of them on the panel here is going to be there, I think. So.
Yeah, I'll be there.
I'll be there.
As will I.
Yeah. Okay. So hope to see you there. Y'all know what I look like. So if you see me walking around there, come up and say hey or something. And I look forward to meeting y'all. Okay. One last thing before we get started on our topic. Jerry's going to talk about a little giveaway. Jerry, you want to take it away, buddy?
If you've watched the videos on my channel, I did a mill style drill press table, and the one I did in the series, I said I was going to give it away, and I was struggling with how to give it away, and I talked to Dave, and he was gracious enough to let me give it away on his live. So he's put it together. It's up on his website now. I didn't get a chance to go all the way through that. There's an entry form there, isn't there, Dave?
Yep. Yeah, if you go to the website, davegatton.com, and look on the home page and go all the way, just look all the way over to the right, and there's a link that says drill press table giveaway, and you click on that, and there's the videos where you can see Jerry, how he built it. I think there's like 4 videos over there. There's some pictures of this thing. And then also a link to click where you can fill out an entry form. And I guess not a whole lot of people know about it yet. I've got a couple of entries so far. And but anyway, we're going to do that live drawing, I guess a month from today, March 25th. So that'll be the Saturday right before the wood show is. So if you win that thing and you're going to be coming to the wood show, Jerry can just bring it with him when he comes. He's coming to the wood show. So, but get your entry in. Same kind of rules like we always do. 1 entry per household. You must live in the continental U.S., that kind of thing. Because this thing is pretty heavy, isn't it, Jerry? What does that thing weigh?
Yeah, I haven't actually weighed it, but I'm going to guess it's somewhere around 30, 35 pounds.
Okay. Wow. Well, that's not.
Wow. That's pretty substantial then.
Yeah, I mean it's made out of reclaimed lab tabletop material, so it's pretty heavy. And then you've got the 2-piece fence, and I made 1.5 and 2-inch standoffs. This will work on a floor model drill press as well as a bench top. I did a demonstration of it on a bench top just to show that it will work on there.
Yeah, and it looks like Mark has put the link.
Yes, I did.
Thank you, Mark. Yeah, and I think there's a link down in the description too. So if that one scrolls up and you miss it, and check out Jerry's videos, because like I said, it's really interesting to watch him, how he built that thing, and it looks really cool. I'd like to have one myself. So
I know a guy.
That's a very well built unit, and I mean the videos are very cool. He didn't mess around.
Yeah, and you want to tell them real quick too before we move on, Jerry, what that stuff is, what it's made out of, because
it's
better than I do.
We have a company here that makes commercial lab tables for like colleges and industrial, and I got this stuff from an auction. It was returned because the thicknesses were not exactly right. It's never been actually used as a lab table, but that's what it is. The stuff it's some really weird stuff. It's got a fiber reinforced center on it. It drills it. I've actually snapped taps and drill bits in it. That's how tough the stuff is. So it's really durable. If you take a torch to it, the only thing you're going to do is that top layer will bubble up, snap, and peel off, and you can't hurt the rest of it. So
yeah.
I made because I knew people couldn't put their hands on that stuff easily, I went ahead and the top plates for that thing, the 2 centers, I made 2 extras for that and 1 outside that'll fit on either end of it. So if you drill them out, you've got something to replace them with.
Problems now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I said, it's really cool, and I'd like to have one myself. So if you want to get in on that, get an entry in, and we'll be doing it March 25th live here on the show. And it's also what is it? Got to be present to win, so you got to be watching the show. And while you're at it, make sure you go subscribe to Jerry's Machines. I got the link down in the description, so you
have my permission to enter the contest, Dave.
Well, no, I wouldn't do that. With my luck, I wouldn't win it anyway. So
how about if I just make you one?
Well, we can talk about that. Yeah.
Oh, don't think I didn't enter already.
Yeah, you were like the first one, Mertzke. No, that's pretty cool. I like I said, it'd be neat. Somebody will get a lot of use out of that if they win it. So, all right, I guess that's all the notes I had. Has anybody got anything before we get started with
one last thing I want to say about it? Whoever wins it, I'll give them my personal information, and I'll go over it with them one-on-one to make sure they understand how to adjust it as it wears in, and if they need to tweak it at all, I'll make sure they understand exactly how it works and how to adjust it, and they'll be able to get a hold of me either by phone or social media.
Okay. All right. Anybody got anything else they want to add? Okay. Well, as I was thinking about show topics this week, I actually had a bunch of questions on one of the other, I don't know, a few weeks ago. I think we did like a Q&A thing, and I didn't know for sure how many questions we would get from the live viewers there. So I kind of made up some questions of myself that I've always wanted to ask the guys on the panel here. But you know, we got a lot of questions that night and stuff, so I never did get to ask them. But there's just some questions I'd like to kind of throw out there and let the guys on the panel just kind of give us their 2 cents worth on some of these things. So my first question is, what was it that made you want to either buy or build a CNC? You know, was it like for hobby, or were you looking for something to start a business, or what's the deal? Who wants to start? What made you take the plunge?
I guess I can take this one. I'll start. For me, like, it was a good bridge between graphic design, which is my background, and like woodworking. And I have a very technical background. I do software development by day. So this was like one of those things where it was like, oh, this would be a really cool way of bridging that gap. So I picked up one smaller one to start with. I plan on building a bigger one, but you know, for me, it was something that it's a hobby, and it's starting to become a little bit of a business. There's a lot of stuff I sell on my Etsy that I make with the CNC now. So that's kind of what got me started.
Okay. Anybody else want to jump in there?
Yeah, I'll go. I guess for me, originally it was business. A client had come to me with a project that I quickly found out I wasn't going to be able to do by hand. I don't know if I'm just retarded or what, but it was to inlay a coin, and the coin was in the shape of a shield, but just due to the needing it to be an exact inlay into the wood. And I tried multiple with, a handheld router, with a Dremel, just couldn't get it. And I realized that I wasn't going to be able to do it without a CNC. So, I started with the Shapeoko 2, and it just, I don't know, I fell in love with the entire process. And so, I quickly found out that wasn't enough. And then, went up to the X-Carve and found out quickly that wasn't enough. And, now I'm happy with my safety orange, but loving every minute of it.
Okay. Anybody else want to jump in there and take that one?
I'll have a go. I sort of found online there some photos of some sort of homemade CNC machines, and I thought, this looks really good. I just enjoy building things, seeing if I can make them work, and I had no idea what I could do with it or anything of that nature, but I thought it looked a lot of fun, so I sort of built it from the picture I saw there. And of course, one machine's never enough, and there's always new improvements you can make to it, and sort of progressed, and I've ended up building quite a few machines now. Just sort of started basically from a picture.
Wow. Okay. Anybody else?
I'll go. it was an easy decision for me. It was basically the kindergartner in me came out, and I looked at it and I go, I want it. It was that simple. So then at that point, I just had to justify how to get it, because when you want something that's over $5 or $10, I basically said, oh, okay, now I have to have a reason to buy it, and but it all boiled down to the fact that it's a cool toy.
Yeah.
That's
Okay. Anybody else?
I think that's the same for me. I would make handmade signs just with the Dremel, and I'd outline them. And I saw a video of someone making a jewelry box or something on a CNC with I think it was the Shapeoko 2 at the time. And then my buddy Jerry Brown, he actually gave me his old Shapeoko 2 when he got the X-Carve. And since then, I upgraded the Shapeoko 2 to the 500mm X-Carve, sold that, bought the 1000mm X-Carve, sold that, and now I'm on this giant beast of a machine here. And that was in the past year and, I don't know, year and 3 months or so. So 15 months. It's crazy.
Yeah. I'm having to laugh over here. Becca Miller's over in the chat, and she's asking Javier if he's going to change shirts.
Where's my hat?
Well, he's already taken his glasses off a time.
I'll see what I can do. Yeah, there you go. I'll come back off and
I'm gonna have a hat here in a second.
They're annoying me, but I can't see without them. So what the heck?
Yeah, I understand. Okay, anybody else want to jump in on that one, or are you ready to go to the next one?
Well, I guess I'll jump in there. I just wanted to have one to be able to use at home. I've always worked with them, but never been able to have one at home. And this is one of those affordable, that you could be able to buy and not break the bank, as per se, to be able to have at CNC at home. Yeah. And
with your what you do for a living, it was just a natural fit for you, I think.
Yeah. So that was my main reason, for hobby purposes, for just being able to do what I want at home. Since at work, of course you have to focus on work and have to do what you're working on, but never enjoy it, as far as being able to make what you want to make. So that was mine.
Okay. Anybody else want to go?
Well,
Russ?
Yeah, I'm kind of like a lot of the others. I saw things that I wanted to do, and I've tried doing some router work as far as with by hand. I bought one I don't know if it's called a Pantene router or whatever, but where you actually hook up to your router and then you trace the letters on a piece of paper and it cuts it in to try to make signs. What a pain.
Pantograph. Pantograph, I think.
Yeah, pantograph. What a pain in the butt. I mean, you make one's move wrong on that stupid little picture with that stupid little stylus, and guess what? Throw the whole sign again away and start all over. So, and there's other things I want to do. I've been able to graphically design stuff for years for my scroll saw. I make most of all the patterns I cut on my scroll saw, I make myself. So design was really never a problem. It's just I can't carve, or I can't hold a router and can't do things by my own hands like I'd like to. So it was a no-brainer. And then my good friend Dave Gatton made me an offer I couldn't refuse on my machine that I picked up in Atlanta. And plus he gave me 2 days of tutorial and fed me for a couple of days, and I stayed in his house. So it was a no-brainer. I went to Atlanta and got a CNC.
Got some barbecue out of it. It was a good couple of days, huh?
Yep. But yeah, it was a no-brainer. And I tell you what, I fell in love with it. It's fantastic. I mean, there is no other words for it. To be able to put something on the computer, look at it, and then transfer it over and put it on the CNC and have it cut it and it come out. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, Russ, I watched your latest video and I was a little disappointed because I saw you doing the design and I thought, yeah, he's going to fire up that CNC and cut that sucker out. And then he went and did it on a scroll saw. And I was like, oh.
little let down.
Hey, you don't understand. My scroll saw table is actually starting to rust.
Yeah, I was going to say you probably had to knock the dust off of it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Cobwebs and stuff.
Yeah, it's been jealous. Trust me.
Okay. All right. Anybody else want to get on that one, or should we move on?
Move on.
We ready to move on to the next one? Okay. Now this one is again is for all you guys, and some of you have bought machines, and some of you have built machines. So my next question is, well, we'll start with the guys that bought a machine. What made you decide to buy versus build?
That's an easy question. I when I was looking through machines, and I mentioned this in my video letter to you. I had looked at your videos, and you know, hey, you're trying to economize wherever you can, and frankly, I was torn between buying and building, and it was just trepidation. I was scared. I didn't know what I didn't know. And in the end, I'd rather have the money in my pocket, but I ended up with a really, really good, solid machine. I'm very happy with it. And now I'm going to build one of yours next.
Okay. And by the way, folks, if you don't know what that is over his shoulder there, that's a Cam Master's Stinger, I believe.
That is correct.
And we've already talked a little bit. We have not done a show where we've had anybody with a Cam Master, and I'm glad we've finally stumbled across somebody who has one. Those things are actually made not too far from me, not very far from you, Zach. I think they're in Cartersville.
Oh, really? Interesting.
I believe that's where they're at.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, we're going to do a show with Javi and have him talk about his Cam Master. So you want to watch for that. Yeah, Auction Shop, Cartersville, I think. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I'm sure Becca's noticed. Just for her, I changed.
Yeah, there you go, Becca. That one's for you.
They said you cheated. You didn't change. You just added one.
Yeah.
That's cheating.
He's layering now. Okay, anybody else want to take that one? Let's say who else on here is
I bought mine.
I bought mine.
You just said something. I didn't hear what it was.
You know, so I mean, I originally bought my first one as a kid only because that's all I could afford. There was no way I would have been able to, get into CNC, and I had such a great experience building that one, and then customizing that one, and then building the next one, and then I mean, if any of you guys that follow me notice all the different stuff that I'm doing to that GarageWorks, I mean, I love doing that stuff to it. I don't have the experience, to design my own. But taking a solid machine, like the GarageWorks, and just kind of personalize it, making my own. I love that about it. Someone asked me the other day if I'd ever design and build my own, and no, I don't think I'd ever want to do that. One, I know what I do know. And I know I don't know enough to, from scratch design something like that.
okay.
I'd like to take a shot at when I do make the Gatton CNC. I'd like to take a shot at. I'm back and forth about the electronics, putting together my own control box or not, because I got background in electronics. But that Xylotech is so tempting, though.
Well, I'm a big fan of the Xylotex, and I always recommend that to the newbies and stuff like that. But there are just some guys and gals, I guess, that have an electronic background, and that's part of the fun for them is putting their own controller together, and that's great if you've got that knowledge base. But you can't get any easier than that plug and play Xylotex, all color coded. I mean, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
I am going to add a 5th axis to the Xylotech controller, though.
Through a breakout board?
Yep. Just ordered the other control board today.
Nice.
Okay.
Damn
Anybody
addiction.
want to take that buy versus build question?
I'll do. When I first talked to you, I didn't realize that you actually had the shoestring video series and stuff like that. All I really knew was the safety orange. I didn't find out about the other part till after that. And so I went ahead and I got the 4x4. I was happy with that. You know, you talk about buy versus build, but you have to put that thing together so you still have the best of both worlds anyway.
Yeah, see, mine is they're all DIY kits, so you kind of get to do both.
Yeah, you get to do both. So it's a really but I've been very pleased with it. Now I just sit in there. My wife is a little frustrated with me because she's the type of person that's got to be productive. That's her thing. She won't sit down and watch TV or watch a movie with me because she could be productive. And so I was last night in the shop till a little bit after midnight working on a photo V-car project. And she said, "All you're doing is sitting in there watching it work." I said, "You better believe it." I sat in there until that thing was done. About 3 hours worth. You know, I said, "Watch it." I said, "You got to be there in case something happens."
You need to get a camera.
Yeah, I could have done that, but it's more fun for me to sit there and watch it right now. And
yeah,
I told her I've already let
You'll get
go
over that.
of a couple of pieces of wood already. I don't want to do that again.
Well, you're still a newbie, Russ. When you first get it, yes, you want to sit there and watch it. But after you've had it for a while, I've got mine. I have a camera on mine. I can watch mine on my iPhone from anywhere. So
Yeah, the problem being with that is I can't get to the shop quick enough if I was doing that.
yeah. Well,
I'm only 50 feet
doesn't
away.
matter because if it only takes a couple seconds, it's probably messed
Oh,
up
believe
anyway.
me, I know.
Yeah, you can watch it crash and burn from the comfort of your own couch.
I should.
There you go.
Yeah, I've been doing it for years, but I'm like a moth to a flame. I just like watching it run.
Well, speaking of flames,
That's just me.
it's a dangerous. That's the only thing I'm fearful of because I actually had, like I said, I had a sign shop and I had a laser engraver catch fire, and it was only 5 minutes that I was gone. I was cutting some plexiglass, and I'd been doing it for years, never had an issue, and had extremely well ventilated. One little flame in the plexiglass, and then the flame was so hot it melted the plexiglass top of the thing, and pretty soon, well, the whole thing was filled with smoke.
Wow.
I put it out, and no problem. Well, all the rollers and the belts were torched. I have to reconstruct it, but sawdust, that'll go up like that.
Yeah,
That's scary.
Mm-hmm.
That is scary.
Okay, we got anybody else on here that's done the buy versus build thing?
I did the buy, but in my case, it was of course, it was a kit. But for me, it was I just wanted to get it up and running as fast as possible. Now, like Javier, I would like to build one now. I mean, that would be now that I have one to run.
Yeah.
But that was my reason.
Yeah, pretty similar on my side.
Yeah, I actually built mine. Sorry,
Go
Dave.
ahead.
Yeah,
No, go ahead.
you know,
Peter.
I actually built mine. Like I said, the first one I built was from a picture I saw, from which I learned the value of actually having plans. So the next one I built, I went and brought some plans, and then I brought more plans for the next one, the Joe's 4x4. But living in New Zealand, I can't get all the parts that a lot of other, you guys in the States can get. And any parts I can get are usually very, very expensive. So I tend to change and modify things as I go along. And so I modify the original plans to suit the materials available to me. And I just prefer building machines to buying them. I think that's half the fun of it, to be honest.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you, Peter. And that, of course, that was my next question was, we did the buy versus build. Now do the build versus buy. But I think you're probably, well, let's see. Michael Chipser's built the Gatton CNC, I guess.
I built the Gatton, the 2X carves, and a Shapeoko 2. I didn't buy. I mean, I bought the kits. They're all kits.
Yeah.
The Gatton is a little different because you have to build the gantry, but it's not too bad.
Okay.
I don't know why my daughter just turned in. I don't know why I chose. I think cost is why I chose the Gatton over the Garage Works, just for me. But I think after your video of you writing your plywood CNC, I'm like, it'll do anything I want it to do. So.
Yeah.
I reference that video all the time when talking to people about that CNC.
Yep.
Never going to live that one down, am I?
It's a great sales.
Yeah, it is.
I want to. I think not this year because I've got some other things that I want to do, but maybe next year. I thought about building or getting one a little bit bigger than the one I have, but I'm torn between whether I want to build it or buy it. I think building it would be pretty fun, and it's obvious that the wood one, to me, is just as good as the metal one. So we're kind of torn between that.
Yeah. Well, the coolest thing I think, I'm sure most everybody will agree with me with the Gatton CNC is, unlike the Garage Works CNC, I've got 3 sizes. When you make them out of steel and you're getting them from a fabricator and stuff, you're kind of locked into whatever sizes. It's hard to, do this one-off stuff like some people want you to do. But with the Gatton CNC, you can take the basic plans and size it down if you don't have room for one that big, or you can do like Michael did and make the thing just monster size, so
go big or go home.
Yeah, you can really make a decent sized machine, and it really doesn't cost that much more, just a little bit for wood,
Now, is there a thing with the lead screws? You can only get the lead screws so long for
I think after 6 feet the cost skyrockets.
Yeah, McMaster's where I get them, and the longest ones they carry in that thread is 6 foot.
Yeah, Mark pointed out a really good point about the 4x4, which I was actually considering my third build, which I haven't even done my second, to make a 4x8, and then but it's so ridiculously expensive. You can get a 4x4 and do what Dave does, which is just feed half of it in, cut the parts, and continue feeding. I mean, you basically get both sides of the plank that way, unless you're actually cutting a monstrously large piece out of plywood. At that point,
yeah. Well, and that kind of getting off the topic here a little bit, but that's what I always tell folks is because I see folks on Facebook all the time start talking about they want to build a 4x8, and I'm like, are you really sure? Do you really have that much space? Because you're talking about something that'll cut a 4x8. I mean, the footprint is going to be at least 5.5 feet by 9 or 10 feet or something. I mean, you got to have a lot of room, and if you're not planning on using that whole bed of the table more than 50% of the time, I wouldn't even bother building one that big. Just use it, build something that you can do a half sheet and feed it through, use the tiling feature.
My analogy is it's like a sawmill. I'd love to have a sawmill to cut logs, but I live in Miami in a 99 by 100 foot. What's the point?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else want to chime in on that last?
There was a question that I saw go through, and they said if you build a plywood machine, you can always go bigger later. And I wanted to say the only thing you'd have to rebuy is the aluminum and the rod and the Acme rods. Everything else, I mean, plywood you have to buy and all that stuff, but the most
Yeah,
expensive
well,
part-
like your machine there, you could use that gantry. Like if you wanted to keep it the same
Right.
width but just make it longer,
Yeah.
you could use that same gantry. Of course, you'd probably have to come up with either a chain drive or, belt drive or some other kind of what's the other one? Rack and pinion.
Yeah.
So, but
Well,
yeah,
that's
you
another
could
thing
do
I want to say. If you watched a couple, I don't know, 10 videos ago or so, Jerry Brown and myself, we both converted our X-Carve to chain drive. So it's a little different. I mean, there's different nuances to each type of drive system you're using.
Yeah, I just realized there's at least a couple of guys on the panel tonight. Michael, you being one of them, and Michael Mertzke being the other, and maybe more than that. I'm not sure, but that are on your second or third
Fourth for me.
CNC.
Yeah, third.
Third, fourth for me, and mine's been a year. So
Mine hasn't
Yeah,
been that
almost.
much longer.
yeah,
I'm about 4.5 at the moment, halfway through an upgrade.
Yeah, that's right. You're working on one, aren't you, Peter?
Yeah, slowly.
Okay. Well, let's. I just got. How are we doing on time here?
20 minutes.
It was gonna take up a lot of time with these questions. Let me ask another one. And when you got ready to take the CNC plunge, we already kind of touched on that a little bit. What was the biggest obstacle? I mean, was it like money or the lack of knowledge because you didn't know what to get, or what? What was the biggest obstacle?
Probably money.
Well, I knew what to get. The money came from my retirement fund that I was going to use, and my wife said if I kept working, she'd let me take that money and buy that CNC. So I took the plunge and kept working.
That works.
Yeah, another year and I'm done.
Yeah, I think I would guess probably money's the thing most people think about right off, because when you start looking at CNCs, unless you're already have a little bit of knowledge about them and are thinking about building or getting a kit or something, they're some of them are a little pricey. So it's a big decision, because if you don't have something where you're going to make some money with it, it's a pretty expensive toy.
oh yeah. I will tell you this though, the Gatton for me is the best bang for your buck, just because I have a 5x5 machine. I added a laser, and I'm around $2,000, somewhere around there. So I have a laser, a rotary axis, a giant machine. But again, the space that you need for a 5x5 machine is ridiculous. I probably went a little overkill, but whatever.
Yeah.
If you got the space for it, go for
No
it.
such thing.
Go big or go home.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, biggest obstacle for me was actually my front door. It's a funny story. When I got the Cam Master, it came in a beautiful crate. I uncrated it in my front lawn and stuff. Now I don't have I got a closed-in garage. I'm in the garage now. It's a room. So little did I realize that this thing, when even out of the crate, doesn't fit through a door. First thing I did with a brand new, completely built machine is take apart the gantry, take apart the spoil board, because that thing weighs 800 pounds altogether. I had to shave it off, and between me and 4 other guys, we lugged it in here.
Wow.
That wasn't fun. Fun after I got it in, though.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else got anything they want to add to that one?
I think the ease of use was a big one for me as well. Just I understanding the program, understanding how it works and that kind of stuff. Like I only deal with one program to run my machine. And it doesn't have to have a secondary computer or anything like that as well. So it's just ease of use.
Yeah. So was that kind of what drove you in that direction, as you didn't want to have to put something together, or just kind of what you call turnkey, I guess?
Yeah, I wanted a turnkey, and then the fact that my machine only runs off a USB drive, doesn't have to have a dedicated machine and all that kind of stuff was a big factor. You know, it was just one less thing I had to worry about. I was carving in 10 minutes after I got the machine, so it was I already had everything done and ready to rock as soon as I got in. So for me, that was just a big, positive point towards why I went in my direction. But now that I know more about the machine, I could take on building my own. I understand the process now.
Yeah, it's not much different than a teardrop.
No, it's not much different than a teardrop.
Same principle, same material, Okay, let's see what else I got here on the list. See, these haven't been too hard, have they, guys?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, this one I think probably everybody can chime something in on this one. What would you say is the most important thing that you've learned while either building, or for those of you that didn't build, running your CNC?
Always zero your tool.
You got it.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's definitely a good one.
Yeah.
That wonderful sound. Dum, 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 dum.
I sent Dave a picture. I was helping a buddy of mine with putting his garage works together, and we were cutting holes for the T-nuts to go in for the holds down, and something happened. We had to stop it. We re-zeroed it. I thought I re-zeroed it. Pressed go, and it just plunged right into the steel. Oh man, my heart went through my stomach. Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah, but you did prove that it'll cut steel.
Yes.
So. At least for a little while. Without coolant.
Yes. Router bit almost exploded, but whatever.
I think the next most important thing is don't forget to lift the bit up in the air after you zero it.
Yeah, that's another good one too, because when you turn that thing on and it might be touching just enough to mess up your workpiece right off the bat,
Well, you fix that problem by adding a relay. At least that's what I did.
One of the first things I learned was make sure that the path from your touch plate that reads to the beginning location doesn't fall directly in line with one of your clamps.
Yep.
I tell you, in one of the shows you mentioned, Dave, you got a bunch of clamps that are all cut up, and so I got the same thing.
Yeah. Well, you gotta give them a little character. I try to cut my material close as what usually happens. I miscalculate because I just eyeball stuff anyway, and sometimes you win and sometimes you don't. But best thing to do is use cheap clamps, or at least something that it's not going to hurt the bit.
I make all my clamps are made from wood, so if the bit goes to it, no big deal.
That's probably the best thing to do. You just have and I think I mentioned this on the show before too. I have some wooden clamps that I made, very similar to what Peter made in that video he did, and I just keep a program where I have one program like this and one program like this. So if I'm cutting some plywood or something, and I've got a little area, while I've still got it clamped, I just go ahead and run me a few clamps, and I got a stockpile of them out there, so I'm good to run over a few of them, and I'll still have plenty.
I can't have that problem.
Are you ready for the corny answer to the question?
Well, I know it was going to come from you, Mike. Go ahead.
The biggest thing I learned was, and again, don't start blushing, but the community. This is definitely one community, the hobby CNC community, where everyone is completely helpful and willing to share, whether they know a lot or a little. I've asked a lot of questions as I've kind of gone through and learned, and that's why I'm always try to do the same for other people when they ask me questions. But I mean, just today, I was asking people about adding a fifth axis, and you know, just getting a lot of different helpful suggestions. I had somebody in a matter of minutes draw me up a wiring diagram on how to wire up a 5th axis to the breakout board I use, customize it. And like I said, in a matter of minutes. So, you know, I think that was, you know, a big learning thing. As soon as I realized what kind of community we had, and I think a lot of it is because, you know, the DIY, you know, these guys out there and gals out there building their own CNC machine and struggling and, you know, are just willing to help. So definitely a great community.
And I'll add to that is they don't care what machine you have. They just, if you're CNCing this, you know, they'll tell you about feeds and speeds and they'll tell you how to fix that and fix that. I think it's awesome. I think it's great.
So that means I can expect you to come up here when I get mine, Mike, and show me how to run it.
Yeah, definitely.
To expound on that,
I would have to go ahead, Russ. I'm sorry.
And I was talking to my wife. You know, she does embroidery and the T-shirts and vinyl and all that. And she was having some problems a while back getting something to work. And I said, well, why don't you get on those groups and do a hangout with those women and like we do and hash it out and stuff. She says women don't act like that. They wouldn't help you. They will cut your throat. They wouldn't give you the right time of day.
Yep.
Because you know they don't want you to take money out of their pockets. And I said, well, now the woodworking community is that I'm involved with is nowhere near like that. Everybody helps everybody.
I do embroidery too, so if she has any questions, if I can help, I'll be more than happy to help.
I don't think she has much in the need of help no more, but I appreciate it. She just couldn't believe that this community that we have operates the way it does, and stuff. Because she says the women on those groups consider doing what we do as far as being helpful. You know, they're looking at the bottom line, I guess. I don't know.
I think that's a different. I think most hobbyists do it for a hobby, not necessarily a business. I mean, there's some business aspects of it. My wife goes to these. She does scrapbooking, and she has all the cutters and all that kind of crap. Right. But she goes to these. I think they call them crops, and she goes away for a whole weekend, and it's all a bunch of women just hanging out cutting paper. I don't get it, but
I don't either. My wife had the same kind of stuff. Yeah. She was scrapbooking for a while. So and I know what you mean, but they don't work the same way this community does, and this is more of a close-knit community than you ever thought when you first became involved.
I totally agree. I mean, we were talking about that earlier on my show. I have friends, but I have woodworking friends, and I'll tell you hands down, my woodworking friends are more helpful and closer to me than some of the friends that I've known for years. It's you need something or have a problem or something, all you got to do is ask people out there, and boom, they're right there to help you in a heartbeat. Where and some of the other communities that are, you know, my other friends or whatever, you know, you'd be lucky if you can get an open hand sometimes. So I think I think it boils down to the person as themselves as a woodworker or in that kind of a maker type community, trying to be helpful.
Yeah, I would have to agree with everybody's comment there. And, you know, one thing that amazes me, you know, I started those Facebook groups. You know, I have a Garage Works CNC Facebook group, and I have a Gatton CNC Facebook group. And it really hasn't been all that long ago I started those. I can't remember. It's been a few months maybe, but the Garage Works, I think has 150 or so. I'm not even sure. I haven't looked at it lately. Probably 150 members of that group. How many?
155.
Okay, 155. Thank you, Mike. And the Gatton CNC group is just really exploded. I think it's got like, I don't know, 350 or something like that. I don't know.
370. Come on, Garage Works. We need to get on this.
Yeah, Garage Works is slacking. But
Well, you took all your software off the GarageWorks and put it on the Gatton. That's what happened. All your files.
Well, I can put them on. Well, you know, some of the GarageWorks guys are a little snobby. They don't want to make the wooden stuff put on their machine.
What if you're part of both groups?
Yeah, they're a little snobby towards plywood stuff. So
yeah, I'm a member of both of them.
I'll tell you the problem with being on both groups and other CNC groups is when Mark Lindsay decides to post a
I was
video
going
on
to say the same
YouTube,
thing with Mark Lindsay.
Oh God,
your phone's just blowing up.
the
I know
notifications.
it. All day long when I'm working. Zip, zip, zip. Oh, man.
Oh, he's not even here. Did he have to reboot again?
Yeah, he's not even.
yeah, he can hear you. He's in the chat over there.
Oh, okay.
Well, in that case, since he can't reply, he actually gave me crap about posting on Gatton CNC a whole like 12 hours after I posted the same thing in GarageWorks CNC and asking me what took so long.
12 hours.
Yeah.
It's never taken 12 hours. It's like 12.
Well, I went to bed. The next morning, I woke up and I was like, "Oh, I should post on another group."
Yeah. Well, I love the groups because people, somebody can put a question on there, and basically I don't have to worry about answering it because somebody's going to jump in there and answer it. And that's kind of why I created the groups, actually, to kind of use it like a forum, get everybody helping one another with their questions or whatever issue they might have and stuff. So,
Well, that's very similar in a lot of groups. You post a question, you'll get the answer. The question is the answer actually correct?
yeah, well, that's why there. And I'm not going to mention any names because I'm not knocking any of the other groups. They're all great groups. I'm in most of them probably, but some of the groups are really large, and they contain all different kinds of guys. Well, the GarageWorks and the Gatton CNC groups are kind of for people that are doing GarageWorks and Gatton. So I try to keep it. I'm not worried about really the numbers, how many's in the group, but more what kind of quality of people we have in there that help each other and with build questions or, hey, I want to add homing switches. How do I do it or whatever. So
The only thing
great bunch of folks.
The only thing that I would say that kind of stinks about the groups in general is there's not an easy way to get back to some of those questions. I mean, you can search it, sure, but like on a forum, it's a little bit easier to navigate through it.
Yeah.
I have that problem on the Southern Woodworkers group where I'm trying to remember something that somebody said and I can't find it. Oh, I'm sorry.
Especially when even worse when someone responds to something else inside of a different thread.
Yeah.
It's just annoying. But
or in the replies I get nested and you're like, what was the reply again? So that's the only thing if Facebook, if you're listening to the Dave Gatton show, please fix that.
Yeah. Well, and the thing that I hate is kind of a pet peeve of mine is people that will post a question like something about a Gatton CNC and then they post it on my timeline instead of in that group.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, if you post it in a group, you're going to get 15 guys that can help you. But if you post it on my timeline, they may or may not see it. So
those are your older customers. They don't know how to use Facebook.
Yeah.
And they sign their name at the bottom of the post. They're like, I know who you are. Trust me.
Okay, guys, I ain't even made it through my questions. We're about here at the top of the hour. I got one more question I want to get out before we do our silly question of the week thing. And we sign off here. Well, shoot, I wanted to ask that one too. We'll just go with this other one. We'll save this other one for later. But I know there's probably a lot of folks in the chat. Not everybody's got a CNC. Some people watch this show that are still like Mr. Blakesley there that are still wanting to get a CNC and they haven't taken the plunge yet. So I would ask all you guys here that have CNCs with your infinite knowledge that you've collected over the time running it. What? Let's see. Where did I put that question now? Oh, here it is. What advice would you give to a CNC wannabe / newbie? What's the most important piece of advice you would give for somebody who's thinking about taking the plunge?
I think
Comfortable with the programs first.
I was going to say the same thing. Like, stick with get comfortable with the programs. I just recently switched to VCarve from ArtCam, and it's because VCarve is just a little bit more readily out there and a lot of support from the community. So get familiar with the programs.
Yeah, they're all available in demo mode or in limp mode or whatever you want to call it,
Right.
and it's real easy to run it even if you don't have a CNC.
It's not
You know
the
what to
same.
do.
I have Mach 3 to this fire, and it's not the same playing with the program. I can't see anything come from it.
I would actually take it back a couple steps. I think the first thing you need to do is kind of think about what you want to do with the CNC. Because although I will say that I learned a lot going from CNC to CNC, and kind of it was a great education. I learned so much about how CNCs operate, software capability, just everything. But I think if I would have at the get-go had a clearer picture of where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do with it long term, other than that first initial commission project, I think I would have gotten to where I am now a little quicker. So I think it's good, like that guy that was in one of the groups asking about, cutting aluminum and stuff like that, and expectation management's a big thing. If you're expecting to cut, hardened steel, then the Shapeoko 2 is probably not the machine for you. So I think that's a big one. Just, what do you want to do with it?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
I think if there's people around you who actually have machines, go and have a look at what they've got. See what the machine will do for you. Is it what you want? And if you're going to build one like myself, I really suggest finding a group that has proper plans to build from, because I can tell you now, just building off the top of your head is not easy. Yeah, I mean, Dave's, you've designed your own machine, but a lot of work goes into doing that. You just can't throw something together. So definitely have a look and see what other people have got, and ask questions. You can learn a lot from others.
For sure.
I'd say do your research. Do your research. I know y'all have said it already, but as far as join groups, read what has been put on there already. Don't just, I wouldn't say, I mean, you could ask questions, but I'd say, read through everything that's been posted, because more than likely, you'll know what the problems are, how to solve them, and what to expect from your CNC when you finally build it or get one.
I think another expectation people tend to forget is how fast you can carve something and what materials. So they think you're going to go 400, 500 inches a minute, when that's just not realistic.
That's very true. A lot of these sites that sell CNCs, the first thing they'll show you is a three-dimensional picture of created on photo VCarve and everything. And I did one of those. It took 8 hours on the machine.
Right. Yep. I mean, I haven't done a huge carve on the Gatton yet, but I've put the X carve. I mean, I'm one of the ones that'll go to sleep and just leave the thing running. I've done 10, 12-hour carves on it. So I kind of stress the machine, but at the same time, I don't know. I try to get the biggest bang for my buck. Try to get as much as I can out of it. So
basically, for everyone interested in getting into CNCs, what I'm hearing is watch every Dave Gatton CNC video. Watch every one of Peter's videos, and once you've done that, then
watch everybody else's.
Then you'll be ready.
No, I got one better than that. What you want to do is go to Dave Gatton's residence and take Dave Gatton's crash course on how to run a CNC like I did. It's free, but you'll have to vacuum up a hell of a lot of sawdust.
Well,
There you go.
I can tell you this for your X-Carve users. Going from easel or UGS to Mach 3, night and day. I mean, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I'm like, where do I zero? How do I don't know what I'm doing. It was night and day, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I got a confession. I actually bought a Carve Right 2 years before I bought my first CNC. That almost threw me off it completely. I had a lot of different expectations over that little machine. It was one of the original ones, so it wasn't even before they perfected it. And it's all proprietary software. And well, bought it at Sears, returned it about a week later. Thank God, because it was $3,000. It's do your research.
I don't think everybody appreciates my vacuuming sawdust as much as you do, Dave.
As long as you got barbecue, that's all that matters.
Yeah. Yeah. My buddy Russ, he can vacuum some sawdust. I give it to him. He can handle a shop vac. I see Mark Lindsay, like I said, he's over there in the chat, and he put a good one over there. He says, for the new folks, remember that if you have a question, you're never the only person with that question. So don't be afraid to ask it, no matter how stupid you might think it be, because trust me, I've heard all the stupid ones. So it doesn't matter how many times I hear them, you don't, if you don't know, you don't know. So it's better to ask and find out. And I would just kind of add, kind of like what Juan was saying, do your research and stuff. Just like when I buy anything on Amazon, it don't matter what it is. If how you click the little thing and the people write reviews and stuff. If there's 200 reviews, I bet you I read at least 100 of them, because I like to find out, especially if it's a pretty good sized purchase or something. Just like when I bought my rigid table saw, man, it was a tough decision to make to buy that, because it was $500 something bucks, and you read the reviews and half of them are bad and half of them are good. It was kind of even, and I'm like, what's going on with that? I got mine and I've never been happy with it. So I think a lot of the folks that were doing those bad reviews really didn't know how to set one up or something. But
that was funny. I actually read a long time ago. I read one of your bad reviews, and I think it was something to do with the machine's too weak or whatever. And the next thing I popped into was you sitting on the machine riding the gantry. I love that video.
Yeah. Now, if I wait a little more, probably wouldn't work. But that's why I did that crazy video. That thing was only about a minute long, but I thought I've had so many people ask me, was plywood, is that strong enough to build a machine out of? And then even after I wrote on it, I had people say, well, it doesn't prove anything, just proves it's strong enough, but is it rigid enough? And I'm, whatever.
If plywood's not strong, my roof's in trouble.
Yeah.
Hey, my buddy Ron White said the best thing: you can't fix stupid.
That's right.
Yeah.
If you're in the IT community, there's a saying: there's no patch for stupid.
Well, if you don't know, you don't know. Yes, I snuck back in. Somebody must have got booted out. Because finally the hangout ain't full.
Who are we missing now? Somebody we lost.
Zach
somebody.
left the door open.
Zach had to leave.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, somebody gave away my seat when I was having connection problems. But that's okay. I watched y'all from the chat. Y'all look weird from back there. So
Hello.
Mike, if you don't brand expectations management, I will. You don't know how profound that is, my friend. You really don't. It's so valid. If you are thinking you're going to build a Gatton CNC and start machining cylinder heads on it, you are barking up the wrong tree.
Yep.
You're a home hobbyist, going to cut wood, going to cut foam, going to cut plastic. It's right for you. But if you're out to do something else, if you're going to be cutting mild steel or stainless or something like that, you need to be looking at a mill or something designed for that kind of work. you know. And if you're thinking you're going to open up a cabinet shop with one of these, you might want to look somewhere else. But if you're a home hobbyist, if you're looking to make a little extra money on the side, if you're looking to just add something to your skill set that you don't have right now, then a home hobby CNC is right for you. But I learned real quick, you're not going to be cutting through rock maple at 400 inches per minute. You just ain't.
Every time I get emails and people start asking me, you know, will it cut aluminum, and what's at what speeds will it cut aluminum, and can you cut steel with it? I usually try to steer them somewhere else, just go buy somebody else's, because I know they're going to be a headache. Because if I sell them something, they're never going to be happy with it if they're trying to cut steel or whatever, because that's not what they're designed for. I mean, let's face it, folks, these garage works, when I designed those, basically, I mean, you guys remember when I put out the first couple sizes machines, you know, I had a DeWalt 611 and a Porter Cable 450 on those, because it was basically trying to take up the slack from the X-Carve. You know, I'd seen those come out, and in my opinion, you know, I won't say fail miserably, but, you know, because some people did, you know, have good luck with them. But I think a lot of it was probably operator error that kind of did those in, but with the little wimpy belts and stuff like that. But, you know, yeah, you can put the, you know, Russ has got a Porter Cable 690 on his, and I've run them on the ones I demoed before and stuff like that. But they were really designed for, you know, a much smaller thing. So
I'm going to say I've never had a problem out of them. That's 690 on my 24 by 36.
And you probably won't, as long as you understand the machine's limitations and don't try to, you know, take big deep cuts and stuff like that. That's where people make their mistake. They maybe work at a place where they see CNC mills or something like that, and then they buy one of these things for their garage, and they think they're going to hog out the stuff, you know, the same way, and it just doesn't work that way.
And I think, you know, part of it could be that, you know, CNCs are still relatively new as far as, you know, in the broad market of the home shop, but it's no different than any other tool in your shop. You know, on a router table, you're not going to hog out a bunch of material. You know, even making some rabbits or dados, you might do a few passes to get to that, you know. I don't know why people get hung up on that, and they don't realize it's I don't think it's any different than the table saw or the router table or any other tool in your shop. Learn its capabilities and, you know, work within those capabilities.
Yeah, good point.
Even the big machines are not all that you think they are. I mean, I could slice I mean, that thing's strong enough with the 890 to slice one pass with an end mill through a piece of real quick through a piece of plywood, and you end up with so much tear out, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now, Todd HCNC just said in here in the chat, he just says, I've cut granite on mine, although not that fast, 3 inches per minute. Yeah, at 3 inches per minute. Okay. Like I say, perspective and a little bit of expectation management, you know?
Yeah.
3 inches per minute. You weren't trying to go 300.
Yeah.
There was somebody in one of the Facebook groups, I think maybe Mike Mertzke was talking about it earlier. They was asking about cutting aluminum and stuff. And, you know, I put a comment there and said, you know, pretty much any of these CNC routers will cut aluminum as long as you cut it, you know, within the limitations of that machine. And if you're going to cut aluminum, you need to be looking at a CNC mill, you know, instead of a CNC router.
Yeah.
And to go to that point, whatever end mills you're using also takes factor that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's matching the tool to the job. You know, you're trying to think about, you're looking at what's basically a woodworking machine. You wouldn't try to cut mild steel plate on a table saw, would you? Not with just a standard 40-tooth carbide bit. Probably not. You know, yeah, you can do anything once. You know,
you can certainly try.
It's I mean, you know, you may not be successful, but you know,
Right.
so you know, it's a sense of perspective, like Mike was saying, expectations management. This is not going to take the place of a Bridgeport. It's not going to take the place of a Laguna or a Legacy. But
yeah. I mean, there's a reason why those big, heavier machines cost a lot more.
right, exactly.
And
You're
there's
not
sometimes.
Go ahead, Mike.
I was gonna say, and there's sometimes there's other tools in the shop that do a job better than it. You know, I make one of the plaques I make for a client is has a round coin that gets inlaid into it, and I have a Forstner bit that exact size as that coin fits in. And you know what? It's a hell of a lot quicker when I get an order of 30 to 50 of these plaques.
Mm-hmm.
To take it over there and batch them out on the drill press with that Forstner bit in there than it would ever take me to mill out 50 pockets on a CNC machine.
You're absolutely right. I did a Rube Goldbergian thing some time ago. I was building a set of rails and stiles, a set of doors for my kitchen cabinets. And I decided it would be a really cool thing if I could create this mount, raise it up in the air, and have the router on the CNC machine cut the rails and the stiles. I think I spent like 4 hours just to cut 2 rails and 2 stiles rather than stick it on a router table and done.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was fun.
Yeah. Where a CNC shines is with accuracy and repeatability. If you got to drill 3 holes in a board, do it on a do it on the drill press or with a hand drill. But if you got 28 holes that have to be in specific locations and 76 parts to run, then a CNC is probably for you, you know.
But on that same job of those plaques, those little plaques with the circles that I use the drill press on the flip side, for the keyhole slots to hang that plaque, I have a jig made up on my CNC machine, and I cut out all 50 of those keyhole slots one after the other on a CNC because I can do it faster than lining them up on my router table.
That's right. Yep. That's right. And they're all going to be the same. And they're all going to be the same.
Yep.
And that's where it shines. So,
well, guys, we are about 20 minutes over. Big surprise.
Oh, because of me. Sorry about that.
Well, we might as well go to the hour, Mark.
And I can't believe we've still got 107 folks watching. I guess maybe they're
10
hanging around and seeing if they can get
10 of them bailed as soon as 10 of them bailed as soon as I came back on. So
I noticed that.
You saw that too.
I thought it was more like 25 or 30 bailed.
Let me just boot Mark out and see what happens. See if we get him back.
No.
Okay. Well, we have found Dave's price.
Okay. Well, I guess maybe they're hanging around for that silly question of the week deal. We got a good one. We got a good one this week. I don't have any router bits this week, folks. But I do have the usual.
Nice.
So whoever the first response is with the correct answer can get their pick of either a GarageWorks CNC hat or a Gatton CNC hat. And we'll get with the question of the week. Yay, hats. You need a hat, buddy. You need one of them GarageWorks hats. Okay, our question of the week. And it's going to be, I've asked Javier if I can use his video for the question of the week, and he so graciously.
How many times did it change clothes?
If you haven't seen the video, and there's a link in the description. It was I guess a fan letter. I guess, and you know, I have to say I've got some long emails before, but I never have got a fan letter video. That's one for the books here. Yeah, Mr.
If I wrote that all out, you wouldn't have read it.
Mr. Mirsky's modeling the hat there. Let's get a shot of him. There we go. Yeah.
See that. There you go.
Yeah. Mr. GQ. Here we go. Okay, so
throw up in my mouth right there, right?
look at Poot over there saying, Dave has a fan. Yeah, I got one, Poot. Thank you. Anyway, the question of the week. Let's get this done, and then we'll sign off. We've been on there long enough. If you haven't seen that video, the link is in the description here of the show here. So you'll have to probably check it out. But the first, we got to do the number. Let me put my number in over here.
I'll do it.
Okay, there's my phone number. So the first person to text me with the correct answer, and I say this every week, guys. If you text me, put your first and last name, because if you're not already in my phone, I've been putting a lot of y'all in my phone, just so I know who it is.
He's gonna sell all information.
Yeah, but yeah, put your first and last name so I know who I'm talking to. First one to text me the correct answer to this question. In the video that Javier did called a personal, what'd you call it, Javi? Personal
video fan letter, I think, something like that.
Something like that. Okay, whatever it was called. I want the first person to text me how many shirts did Javi wear during that video? First person with the correct number, and I've counted them.
42.
That's close.
Okay.
Probably pretty close.
Now here's the
I don't
one.
know if that's close or not.
Javi,
Yeah, Mark.
is that video still private or unlisted?
No.
It's public. Okay.
Well,
No,
I got
it's not public. I'll make it public, but it's unlisted, so you got to go through the link. I'll just make it public.
Yeah, you'll need to make it public.
I don't have a problem sharing the video. It was just originally meant for Dave. I don't care who sees it.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing because I shared it right away. I don't know how many.
I saw it through Dave's.
Remember, everyone, I learned this a long time ago. If you put something out on the internet, you better make sure that that you don't mind if it's seen by all.
Well, he's sending a bunch of people over to your channel who are fixing to come back and say, there ain't no video over there, man.
If your mama can't watch it, you shouldn't be on the internet.
I only got one video. It's been 3 days. Maybe they'll buy a deck from me.
Okay, somebody paid some really good attention to that video.
They already got it?
I've already got a correct answer.
Oh,
Did they get a name?
That's amazing.
It was Juan Chipser.
So what was it?
It was Becca. Becca knows.
What about Javi? Do you know? Do you even know how many shirts?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Who's stalking who here?
I'm guessing maybe 6. I don't know.
I counted because I watched it because I was looking for a good question of the week, and I thought, man, at first I was going to do how many hats.
Well, you're not going to give it away now, are you? You're going to make people watch next week, ain't you?
Yeah, I won't say the answer, but we do have a winner already. So if you're texting, you can stop. But I do have a winner. I'll be posting the winner on Facebook here in a little bit, and also make sure you let me know whether you want the Gatton CNC or the GarageWorks CNC hat.
Hey, even if the correct answer's already been answered, go over there, guys. Get over there and watch that video. You've got to see that video.
It's very good. It's a very, very good video.
Thanks,
I was personally touched. I mean, like I said, I've had some long emails where people said some kind of nice things about me, but never somebody go to the trouble to make a video.
I'm waiting for Dave's reply video.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if I've got that many shirts.
Well,
at least clean ones.
That's what happens when you work from home.
You do, but they're all the same color.
I'll go through the laundry hamper and see if I can find some.
I laughed at the video. Most of the way through it, I was laughing the whole time.
Yeah, it's definitely. That's why I shared it right away because it was just hilarious. I thought, man, this is great. So
And then I sent him a
Have
real
you seen it,
quick
Russ Clarity?
Do what?
Have you seen it?
Nope.
Well, you need to watch it because he mentions you in it too.
Really? I haven't seen it.
Well, you
Yeah.
came in late, Russ.
Seen it.
I've told most of these others that how much of a fan I am of them. I'm a big fan of yours as well.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, that's I have
You'll have to be
go on
sure and watch it,
record.
Russ, because he mentions you in it.
Well, I'll go back and watch it. Did you post it on the Gatton CNC or GarageWorks CNC or something?
Well, I shared it to Facebook, but there's a link right in the show notes here, or the show description, or whatever you call that
Let
stuff.
me go ahead and make it public now.
But
Yeah,
I
you
will
need
definitely
to.
go back and watch it. That's pretty.
Click it. You got people over there looking for it.
yeah,
Just gotta tell you, Russ.
Just to remind everybody, we're still live.
They're not interested in us anymore.
I didn't say anything.
all right. Well, I guess we're going to wrap this one up. Yeah, you can tell after the question of the week because we're down to like
82, yeah.
They drop like flies once the giveaway's over. But don't forget to go to DaveGatton.com and hit the drill press table giveaway. Sign up for that. Yeah,
All right, it's public
in about a month. So appreciate everybody watching tonight. Thanks so much for coming and hanging out with us. Thanks to Javi, Jerry, Juan, Mark, Michael Chipser, Michael Mertzke, Peter. Always good to have you on, buddy. Russ and Russ, and also Zach Manning, who was here earlier. Thanks for hanging with us tonight. And I guess we'll see y'all next week. So everybody have a great weekend. Take care.
All right. See you guys.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yep. Bye.
See you.
later.